How's it going, everyone? Alex with Jeeps Limited. I believe this is maybe the 5th episode of working on my YJ restoration project I'm working on. In the last video, you guys saw me kind of finish up painting the tub, and I gave you guys just a big update on everything that was happening, and even an update as to kind of what I did over the summer for anybody that cared. Now, on this video, I've got these brand new fenders I bought. The original fenders on here were just beat to trash. They were rusty. Years ago, we did some really bad body work on them. That was all failing. And they were all beat up, smashed in from the tires and everything. They were just junk, and there was no way to save them. So I went ahead and picked these up. These were relatively expensive. They're almost $600 for the pair, but it was worth it just to not have to try and make those other fenders look good. So all I'm really going to be doing with these fenders, I'm going to sand off this factory, not even sand off, I'm going to scuff this factory paint, I'm going to shoot them red, and I'm going to clear coat them and then install them. So hopefully that shouldn't be too much of a process. My kind of thought on how I'm going to do this, because they're kind of awkward, I'm going to just sand the whole thing, and I think I'm going to paint probably like the insides, like where the tires would be, paint and clear coat those all in one shot and like in one day. The under the hood side, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to paint them and clear coat them all in one day. And then the spot that you're actually going to see, I'll do that a little bit slower. I'm going to paint that, let the paint sit, and then I'm going to clear coat them, let the clear coat sit. I'm going to install them, then I'm going to wet sand only the spot you're going to see, and then wet sand the cowl as well. So I'm just going to go ahead, get started on that, and we'll see how that plan goes. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. All right, so I'm going to use 400 grit. I don't know if that's a little bit too fine. I'm going to start with that and see what it does. I don't want to go too high right away because I don't want to put scratches in this and then have to try and fill the scratches. I just want to scuff this enough to get paint to adhere, and I would have to assume, I missed the garbage can, I would have to assume 400 is probably good enough. So I'm just going to go ahead and get started with that, and if I need to go lower, I will. I've got some 320, and I mean, I could go down to like 100, but I think 100 is just going to scratch this. And then I'm just going to be able to see the scratches. So hopefully the 400 should be light enough that it'll get the adhesion that it needs, but it won't scratch the surface. So we'll find out. It really shouldn't be too much of a process either, because see, I would think that already is probably going to be good enough. Shouldn't be too much of a process because, like I said, these things are brand new. They're pretty sweet looking. It's been a long time since I've seen some really nice fenders. So I'm hoping that this process here will actually go relatively quickly, but I guess we will find out. Alright, so I got these fenders sanded up pretty nicely with that 400 grit sandpaper, and I went ahead and cleaned them with that same glass cleaner that I've been using for everything else. So they are ready to paint. So I'm going to do this in 3 steps. That's my goal. We'll see how it goes. Today I'm going to paint the insides. You know, this is where the tire would be on both of them. I'm going to try and get 2 or 3 coats of red on there, and then I'm going to get 2 or 3 coats of clear on there. Something I did want to talk about for a second that I've been meaning to tell you guys, and I've been making videos, is the paint that I'm using. So this is just Rust-Oleum. I'm buying it at Ace Hardware. This particular color is called Sunrise Red. It matches really, really, really closely to what this Jeep was painted with from the factory. Like, I kid you not. You can hardly tell a difference. So if you have a red YJ, I don't even know what the color code to my particular one is. Maybe I can look it up for you guys. But if you have a red YJ, Sunrise Red, you can spray this on factory paint and it almost blends. I mean, you can see it, but it's really, really, really close. I'll try and put a picture here of the paint sample that I did on the grill before I sanded the grill and primed it. But it's so this has the sample paint on it from right here to right here. I even just painted hard straight lines with tape. I didn't even try and fade it or anything. And I think on camera, I don't even know if you can see it. The Rust-Oleum has a little bit more orange in it, but it's really, really close. super close. The only thing about this red Rust-Oleum in particular, compared to any other paint I've used in my garage, the red overspray sticks to everything. As you can see, I built myself a nice fancy paint booth here, which is something I probably should have done like 3 years ago, but you know, here we are. So another reason why I'm using this, well, a couple of reasons. It matches, it's pretty cheap. If I run out, I can go get more any Ace Hardware. You can either recoat this or clear coat this within 1 hour of putting the paint on, or after 2 days, after 48 hours. So I'm opting today to do it within an hour. So I'm going to put 2 to 3 coats of red in here. Then I'm putting 2 to 3 coats of clear in here within an hour of the last coat of the red. That's what I did on the grill, and it turned out pretty decent. So I'm going to do it on the insides of the fenders. I'm going to do it on the underside, you know, whatever you want to call this. And then when I do the front face of it, I'm still planning on probably doing it, painting it red and letting it sit for 48 hours, but we'll see. We'll see how much of a hurry I end up being in, you know, come Wednesday or Thursday this week. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead, start painting this stuff, and the next hour or so is basically just going to be me getting high off of paint fumes in my garage, painting things red. So enjoy that. Alright, well, here we go. The goal is to not just get fucking paint all over things I don't want paint on, like the front face, because I might have to remove that before I paint it. But I just, other than taping it off, which I don't want to do, and we'll just see what happens. A lot of angles that are kind of awkward to get at, which kind of sucks. Alright, well, I'm just going to call that a tack coat, because actually I was really, really light with it on the low output setting, so we'll put it on medium for the next coat. I'm going to let this just tack up for a couple of minutes, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, something like that. And then I'm going to go over it with a little bit heavier of a coat next. So stay tuned. Alright, we're going to get started with our second coat here. I'm going to try and spray it in a different direction than I sprayed the first coat, just because, again, there's a lot of weird angles and crevices out here to try and get paint in, so... All right, that coat's done. It's probably going to take 2 more good coats like that one. I guess the nice thing, it does appear as if this can spray upside down, which is kind of nice. But I also, just doing that, almost used this full can. And this particular can doesn't seem like it's spraying well. Hopefully the next can will be better. I got 4 cans for this, which should be plenty enough to do just these. I got 4 cans just to do 2 fenders. So that should be enough, but it's actually going a little bit quicker than I thought. But that should be okay. 2 cans, or maybe a can and a half here, flip it, can and a half. It should be fine. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Like I said, I can go get more at Ace, which is a nice thing. So I'm going to let this one sit a couple extra minutes, maybe 10, 15 minutes, and then I'm going to go ahead and put another coat on it. Alright, so I've got the undersides of these things all painted and clear coated. It looks okay. One thing I noticed, because these were upside down, like basically bowls, the very bottom, so like this area but on the underside, probably had a little bit of clear coat pooling in it. And it looks like it kind of affected the paint a little bit. But the clear coat itself just is real nice and smooth. So I have, you know, sufficient protection there from like rust and corrosion. And actually the underside turned out really nice. It's very smooth. Really probably doesn't need to be, I'm not going to sand it anyways, but it wouldn't need to be sanded. It turned out pretty good. And so now I got these things flipped over, and something I decided to do, change your plan, to maximize efficiency here, since this is really the only way I can prop them up, and since I already painted all the edges that are facing down, I'm just going to paint the whole rest of the whole thing here. I should be able to get to every angle that I need to pretty easily. And then, since I'm painting the fronts, I really want the fronts to dry completely before I clear them. So I'm just going to paint all this red, leave it, and come back on 2 days from now and just clear everything. And then later I'll sand this side. I might, depending, because that's how I painted the tub, that clear coat did go on a little bit rougher, so maybe I'll do a light sanding here or something. We'll see how it turns out. But I'm just going to go ahead, a couple of spots where there's a little bit of overspray, just sand it real quick, just hit it with the sand a little bit, and then clean them, and then paint all this red. So that's what you guys are going to be seeing next. All right, so the first light coat is done, and now basically I'm just going to do that like 4 or 5 more times. So we'll speed through that, and you guys will see it when they're done. So I had like 2 coats of clear left to put on these fenders, and for whatever fucking reason, this fender, which has been sitting here for a week, it just fell off of this table. So now it's all dented to shit, and the paint is ruined. So that's cool. I don't even know what I'm gonna do. I mean, I'm just gonna let it dry and sand it off, and hopefully I don't have to, I mean, the paint's all fucked up over here. Just sand it off and redo this fender, I guess. So that kind of sucks. And then I don't know why, I mentioned this before, but I don't know why, but this clear coat is just eating right through the paint, and the paint's all flaking. Like, this is just all fucked up here, and I don't know why. I don't know what's going on here. I didn't have that problem anywhere else, but now, I mean, this is happening in several spots on these fenders, and I just don't know why. So these things are just turning into a nightmare. So I'm just going to go at it with 320 because, again, I mean, I have to take pretty much all of this material off, and the 320 is going to do it about as quick as, you know, I reasonably want to do. Again, I don't want to put huge scratches into this. And then I'll probably go back over it once it's done with the 320, maybe kind of smooth it out with the 400 a bit and get the 320 scratches out. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I'm just going to start sanding and see what happens. Doesn't really matter where I touch it at this point. Alright, so overall, like this front face, it doesn't pick up on the camera super good, but like I got through the clear coat real nicely here, and then I just kind of sanded. I got to paint like this whole corner again, and even a little bit on the bottom there. This here didn't have any damage. I mean, I'm going to continue. I got to finish clear coating it all. It doesn't probably have enough clear coat on it. Here, you can see a little bit here and here. I think I can just re-clear coat that. Like I didn't have to sand it down through the paint. There's this huge gap here, but this is actually here. That's how it came. So that's how I'm leaving it. This spot here, it just had a big nick in it, so I took it down and I got to, I'm just going to put a little bit of paint there and then re-clear it. Same with these two spots here. These spots here where the paint was failing, like, of course, it's just such an inconvenient spot to try and fix it. So, I mean, I just did my best, and kind of is what it is at this point. This whole spot here, I did the same thing. There was just big nicks in it. So I just sanded those smooth, and I'll have to repaint that. Same thing down here and over there. So, overall, I feel optimistic that maybe at least, again, the front face here, any of the spots you're going to see when you're just looking at the car will be pretty good. And any of the spots that, you know, you won't see like underneath unless you're under the hood, which I'm sure under the hood there's going to be plenty of other fuckery to look at, but those might not look as good, but oh well, it kind of is what it is at this point. I don't know. Aside from going in there with even like a wire wheel to really clean it up, which is just not worth it, I don't think. So I think that is what it is at this point. I'm just going to go ahead and start touching up the paint, and we'll see how it looks. Really, it's not a lot of people do that, but I think I should be learning a lesson that I should probably be taking my time as I do this stuff. So I'll just take my time as I do this and call it good. Just kind of let that dry for a little while. I mean, still, 10 minutes, I'll let it actually like try to touch maybe. I don't know. I'm gonna give that a little bit of time and then do that a bunch more times, I guess, and see how it turns out. So you guys will be finding out soon enough. Alright, so I got everything was sanded and repainted with that red. And to be honest, like this, the worst spot on the face there that I was most concerned about looks real good. I haven't clear coated anything yet. I'm going to do that today. But it turned out pretty decent. This was another spot. You can see the difference in the sheen right now, but I'm assuming that'll go away once I clear it. So this is probably the worst spot. You can still see it right here. But whatever. I mean, that's like, the grill sits right here. You'd have to look pretty hard to see that. And then there's actually a run in the clear coat. That was from the first attempt at clear coating this. I got all those spots where the paint was kind of coming off. Fixed up pretty good. Like, they look pretty decent. Like, for instance, this corner was one. You really can't see it. Again, you can see the difference, like, here, where it's painted versus clear coat. But I think that should go away. That was one spot here as well. Looks pretty good. So it's cold today. It snowed today. It's like 45 degrees in my garage. So I'm bringing the temperature up a little bit. And if I could get it up to like 50 or 55, which shouldn't be too terribly hard to do, should be okay. Then I'm just going to go ahead and I got to clean some other fingerprints and everything off of there, and then I'm going to go ahead and continue clearing them. I'm going to clear coat them very, very lightly as to not have them eat through the paint again. So I just put that coat on, and it already looks like something is going wrong with the paint, like right here. I don't know if it's breaking down from that clear coat. Like, I don't know how much lighter I could put it. Or, I don't know, it might just be where, who knows, kind of where it's transitioning from what's been painted before. It's getting painted again. I don't know. Honestly, at this point, you can also see I actually did a pretty piss-poor job of getting those scratches out of there. I don't know if the clear is going to fill those in or not. But anyways, at this point, I'm just going to move on, get them painted, get them installed, and if I have to come back and fix this again, that's just what I'm going to have to do. I do have to fix those spots on the tub as well, which I'm going to fix the same way I just did these. I'm just going to sand it back kind of far, repaint the red, and re-clear over it, and then re-sand it and, rebuff it. I'm going to do that, probably actually repaint it before I put these fenders on. I think it's just going to be a little bit easier, but anyways, yeah, so I don't know what's going on there. I'm just going to move past it and put these stupid things in, because now we're going on 2 weeks for what was only supposed to take, like a week. So, story of my life. That's just the Jeep's Limited way, I guess. Oh, well. Alright, so I was going to make a video showing you guys painting and installing the fenders all in one shot, but as I was making the video, I realized it's just a bit too long. I don't even want to watch it myself. I'm sure nobody else wants to watch over an hour of that. So I'm going to end this video right here with the fenders painted, and stay tuned for the second part of this episode when I put them on. Here's your sneak peek. They're on. More things are happening, so stay tuned.